I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. Instead, it would continue falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but such conjecture is futile. Still, apprehensions about whose hands might one day find... about whose... and I screwed that up. Anyway, sure was empty. I'm Callum Traveler, and, as you notice, I accidentally ended up with a bit of a fissury shape up here with the, cliffs and such. So some changes since the last episode. I did a lot of off-screen work. Yeah, we're just swimming along here. The primary change that I've made, first and foremost beyond adding a bunch of more rocks along the bottom of it, is I've extended up the cliff faces a bit more. You can see it goes up quite a ways now. That is a view, alright. Yeah, anyway, so, yeah, rocks at the bottom where things collapse from the cliff. Their coloring may not be permanent. I may go in and retexture them later. But you'll notice that going forwards, there's suddenly this dark shadow ahead, where before we had just sandy. But yeah. And you'll notice that the texture along the wall here changes too. Yeah. I went in and I retextured things a bit to make it blend a bit more between the old section of the walls and the new section of the walls. Because I've retextured the bottom of this to have the Tiana cave wall texture. These rock pillars have been slightly recolored too, though it might not be obvious at first glance. And yep, we've got all these ceiling posts going way up into the sky. Yeah, there's some weird texture seamages where we go from a high res to kind of blurry, and I'll get around to fixing that eventually. The initial goal of doing all this retexturing was just to get it all, primarily, in a state where I can do further editing later. But for the moment, yeah, I need to continue extending those out. Or maybe just cap them off and leave them as broken supports, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't decided how I want to continue forward on this particular path yet. But yeah, so one of the main things that I've done here is, you'll notice I've collapsed a rock onto one side of this. If you can manage to get up onto it, you'll find that there is now a fissure in this wall here, because this rock fell from the ceiling and got caught between this support pillar and this wall. And if you try running at it, it'll throw you backwards. And the reason it throws you backwards is because I put a collision wall there. And the collision wall, if it weren't there, well, you'd get stuck in there and you'd eventually panic link out. Which I do not want. I am debating actually making it a proper panic link area, though, which we may do as part of a future tutorial. In which case, we'll go over that when we do it. But yeah, these pillars are mostly roughly textured. These rocks are, all textured according to the ceiling. This pillar here, though, is the only one that I have actually done any attempt at texturing on. Mostly out of experimentation's sake. I've recolored, again, the rock support texture using just the same hue binding that we did before with the other textures. The bottom part of it, I'm going to have to retexture because it should not be doing the stalagmite rock drip texture going into the water. It's going to have to match the Tiana cave wall texture, which I may also have to recolor, but I may leave it just as is because it's a very lava rocky texture. But yeah, I also tidied up the ceiling cracks a bit because the way that they were before, you were getting able to see edges of other ceiling cracks from behind, you were getting clippage, and it just wasn't looking pretty. So yeah, change things up a bit. ceiling is very fissured in here, and it is got debris there now. But yeah, so yeah, that's the main bit here. Yeah. So what are we doing today, considering that I did all of this work off screen? Well, like I said in the last video, we're gonna put in a floor in here. That is today's plan. We're putting in floors into our pod. So first things first, the thing I'm going to be doing is ensuring that we have collision on all of our existing pod pieces. Like this piece, I'm adding collision, making sure it is triangle mesh. I'm going to here, adding collision, ensuring that it is triangle mesh. Will I need to add it to these support pieces? For the moment, I'm going to say no. We're not going to do support pieces. Okay. So, right. I have a texture. I have the mist floor texture that I have slightly recolored using our hue trick. You'll notice some green splotches on there from the rock texture, adding to some unique hueing to it. Now, this is going to be our wood floor texture. Anyway, so what we're going to do, first and foremost, is we're going to create a circle. Now, the thing about creating a circle is it is not a flat it is a flat plane that is just a ring. There's no face to it. Edit mode. Yep, so if I go in, I go make edge face. Now we have an edge face to it. Now I turn on my normals and we got the lines. Okay, we've got all of our lines pointing upwards. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to make sure this is set to pod. It's going to be a plasma object. We're going to name this floor 1. Floor 1, not floor tilde. Floor 1, okay, we got floor 1, so, yeah. As I've previously said, it's small, and I want to avoid having scaling issues as much as I can. Because even going through and checking through and making sure I fixed all my scaling stuff in previous, on everything as I'm going through it, I still don't want, I want to avoid having to do that as much as possible. So, instead, I'm just going to extrude edges. Oh, no. Yeah, I hit extrude edges. And now if I scale it out, woohoo, now we have a slightly wider circle with a smaller circle in the center. And then, yeah, okay. Object mode. Let's see how big this is going to fit so far. Yep. So, trick here. There's a trick here to, let's make sure we can see what we're doing. So there's a trick here to what I'm doing with my scaling. Object, when I'm doing the, so here's a quick tip about how to do things. If you hit extrude region and, if you left click to terminate it, but you don't do Control Z, you still have a whole extra region that is now a selected area that you can mess around with, which is very handy, very, very handy. And I think we've got enough space here to fill in the floor. Let's see here. Let's bring, yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to do this a little weirdly. Like I said, I'm just going to go back in, edit mode. I'm going to extrude the region, but I'm not going to drag it, leave it. I'm going to then go scale, and then I'm going to drag it out. There we go. Now we have our wood floor basically clipping all the way outside of the pod, which, is a bit much. So I will actually shrink it in just a bit. But, yeah, okay. Now we basically have our floor sections where we want them. And just to make our job easier, I'm going to select these planes. Actually, no, I'm not going to delete anything just yet. I'm going to go and select all our planes. We're going to switch back to our material view. Okay. So, let's go in and we're going to create a new texture, wood flooring. Yep. And then I'm just going to go and open. I'm going to go to my PNGs. Pod 12 mist floor. So, how are we going to do this? Well, there's a few ways that we can try. We're just going to mess around with this and see how it looks. Let's do cylinder projection first. No. Reset view. That. Hey, you know what? Let's get out of that. That actually doesn't look too bad for flooring, does it? For a basic floor? Oh yeah, that actually. Yeah. Just having it be reset, basically reset like that, that blends surprisingly, it would blend surprisingly well, but it's kind of, doing this weird zigzaggy bit with streaks going through it in places. Well, let's actually not do that. Edit mode, let's see, let's do cube projection. You know, it's a little repetitive. So let's go into our UE image editor. Oof. And let's let's make it bigger. Ooh, no. Come on. Nope. No. That's not working. That's not working at all. Let's return to, let's try the smart UV project. No. Nope. So cube projection, cylinder projection, sphere projection, nope. Reset, Let's try scaling it. Oof. Yeah, this is where we're starting to run into some tricky detailing, because, you know, if we want things to look fairly, you know, good, we're gonna have to do something weird with this. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep shrinking this in a bit, and you know what? I'm gonna have to see how this looks in-game before I commit to it. Let's go back to properties. And make sure that our floor is a triangle mesh with terrain, and it's collision enabled, and it's part of the pod. Yep, that's good. Okay, gonna save this, export the age, and let's see how our little floor here looks in the age itself. We've got some slightly weird banding, but you know what? I'm willing to live with this. It's got the it's got this kind of neat little chevron effect around the edges. And, okay, yep. Okay, I am willing to work with this. I am good. I am going to work with this. I'm going to stick with this. Though I'm going to need to center it because you notice we got some slight chevrons here that are not present around the edges. So yeah, let's... Well, first off, actually, I'm going to raise up the floor a bit. So let's get this on a more even keel with the ledge of this. Okay. Now let's see here. Let's try to... Let's lower that down slightly. Okay. I can live with this, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good look. This is going to be our look for the bottom floor. It's going to be this kind of round, kind of spiraled pattern. It's got this kind of weird floor shape to it, but I'm good with this. I like this pattern. I'm digging this. Yeah, I am digging it. And in world, it looks a lot darker than it does in the game, in the Blender engine, because, yeah, this is a darker orange texture, and it, yeah, I'm liking this. This is something I would do. Yeah. Okay. So, the main thing we're now going to have to focus on is making sure that the bits that are clipping outside the windows do not stay clipping outside the windows. Well, let's go to our edit mode. So, actually, you know, let's twist it. Well, we've got a bit like so. Where's our frame here? Okay. We've got this panel. I'm gonna take this frame. I'm gonna just drag it in. Yep, just generally drag it in. Yep. Drag it. And there, now, if I pull that in slightly a bit more. Yeah, it's gonna do some slightly weird texturing to these planes here and here, but I'm gonna remedy that by resetting. Actually, no, I'm gonna project from view, go into our UV image editor, and scale. Oop. And scale it down to try and match. There we go. Now if I go in here and I move it so that the wood planks are kind of, yeah, let's, yeah. Now that should, yeah, that should do the trick there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that doesn't disrupt the floor pattern there too badly. Let's see over here. What do we have? Ah. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something similar here. Ironically, I don't think I actually have to. Project for view. Ooh, if I reset it. Yep. And then I shrink it in. I'll make sure I get my Yep, that's being a little weird. Gonna have to adjust this a bit more manually. Yeah, we're just gonna have to match this a bit more manually than we would otherwise do. And yeah, it kinda breaks up the pretty pattern, but we're just gonna have to live with that. We'll just live with that. That is... yeah, that's good enough for me. For this. So we've got this floor now. Let's go back into the game. Make sure to close the we have running. Yep. Let's save it. And we'll export again. And let's launch the age. We have a slight bit of texture seamage there. A little gap in the floor there, but I'm willing to live with it because we're not ooh, well, maybe I could lower the floor slightly, but I'm liking how smooth of a transition that is. Almost as smooth of a transition. Yeah, those pod bits are a bit too steep. The window edges are a bit too steep. Yeah, we'll have to fix that. Woohoo! And we've got these bits that are solid. These button bits. Yeah. Okay. And this is our bottom floor. Not bad for a bottom floor. I'm digging it. I'm very digging it. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. We've got a floor. We have a floor in our floor. We have a floor in our pod. Woohoo! Look at this. This looks really neat. Yeah. This has a nice little pattern to it. If you just look at it. Ah. And let's just spin. Spinning. And look at this. Lincoln window. 3D flyby. It just spins. Okay, I like this. I like how this is looking. Next thing to do is level out this bit here to the Nexus book, and also give it some collision back here. You'll notice that I have some rocks down here. I'll connect, adding a sort of a pseudo ramp. Not quite the best, but yeah. Yeah, because you'll notice that this just kind of dumps down. I don't want it to be, I don't want it to drop down like that. So, we're going to do another bit of wood making. We're going to make some more wood bits, and we're going to use this as a little framing device, basically. Let's get down here, and we're going to go, this time we're going to create a plane. Yep, we've created a plane here. And I'm going to go Object, Edit Mode. I'm going to select this bit back here. I'm going to drag it out roughly into the size I think I'm going to need. I'm going to grab this edge and drag it out slightly. Okay, Object, Z, rotate it to be like this. Now then. First things first, I'm going to submerge it a bit. Make sure I get it all. Yep, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Now then. Object. Edit mode. I'm gonna select the whole plane. Tool. Extrude. Come on, where's my edges only? Extrude. Oh, well now I've made it a box. Which way are my normals facing? Okay, that not what I was looking for, but I will work with it. In fact, a box might be better anyways. Yeah, so let's grab this bit. I'm gonna bend it down. Object mode. Yeah, let's bring you forward. Yep, okay. Lift you up a bit. Okay. Yeah, it should. Yep, okay. So if I go to... Yep. Come on. Edit mode. I'm going to select the plane. The top plane, rather. I'm going to extrude it up slightly. I'm going to go and grab this back plane. Bring it down slightly. Okay. And this is going to be our this is going to be our wood ramp template. We might use this in a bunch of places, but for the moment, this is going to be our wood plant. I'm going to set it again to the pod, give it collision, set it to triangle mesh. Now, I could theoretically set this one to a convex hull, but again, let's just avoid convex holes where we where we don't need them. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to assign wood flooring. And reset. No. Cube projection. No. I need to assign. No. Smart UV unwrap. Let's, why is this not giving me... Okay, let's try this. Project from... Oh, I see what's going on. There we go. Now it's working. Reset. Now we've got, we've got basic wood texturing on everything. We've got a little ramp. We have a ramp leading to the Nexus book. And the next issue is the Nexus book stand did not have collision. So I'm going to make sure this platform, podium, has collision. Now, Cyan did not do this. There's a lot of cases where Cyan basically does a visual model, and then they do a separate collision model. Now, that is handy for a whole bunch of reasons. But, when we're just starting with age making, we don't really need that at first, I don't think, But, we'll make do with what we have. We're not gonna quite worry about it just yet. I don't think I'm forgetting anything on this. So let's Control save. Yep. And now, moment of truth. We are no longer clipping through Mr. Podium here. And I will put something back there beyond more rocks to make it so that we aren't able to get behind it completely. That's what I was afraid of. By making that have collision, we've now locked ourselves into having bouncy collision where the floor dips down. Because now we're bouncing between the collision planes there, which is not fun. Not fun at all. And that's why I'm going to go back to the little bit of collision we just gave to that Nexus podium, and I'm going to get rid of it. And what am I going to do instead? I'm going to go and create a cube. Yep, I'm just creating a cube. I'm going to go object edit mode. I'm going to select this bit. Yep, I'm just going to squish it out a bit. Let's raise it up. Oh, that should do the trick. Edit mode. Let's grab this face. Nope. Make sure you're always grabbing your arrows to keep things level. Don't grab the center point, because if you grab the center point, you're going to get it all wibbly. Make sure you're grabbing the arrows. Yeah. I'm just making a box here. Yep. Object mode. I'm going to twist it. Now, here's a trick about collision. If you do not assign a material, you know, if you do not assign it a visual texture, if you do not assign it a material, we just name this Nexus Ramp Collision. Yeah. If you don't assign it a texture, you know, Blender is just gonna basically, you know, it's just gonna say, it is alright, I suppose. It's gonna, you know, it's just gonna, it's not gonna worry about the collision any. It's not gonna render it, basically, when we put it in Uru. It's gonna look at this, and it's gonna say, okay, this does not have a material, therefore it will be invisible. It's the same issue that we ran into right at the beginning in the first video, if you remember. We created a thing, and it did not visually show up in the age because we did not assign it a texture. And so that is why we're going to leave this textureless. Yeah, we're making a collision box here. But we're just making our box here. And we can actually leave this one as a convex hull, I believe. Yeah, if we leave this as a convex hull. Well, we could. I'm still going to link it a triangle mesh, though. Just because. And again, you'll notice that I've done this in a way that it's kind of, you know, if I go object mode and I go and I raise it up a bit. Yeah. Now, hopefully that should spare us any nasty collision bumping like we were seeing before, where I was getting kind of bounced around. But yeah, that now leaves our Nexus podium being, our Nexus podium stand being kind of, how do we say, it's going to be uncollisioned now. Because now that bit that's on the, because now our feet will slip through the floor of that, which we also really don't want. Well, again, this is kind of why Cyan does have the separate sets of collision to their models. And that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to create a cylinder. Yep. I'm going to go here. Again, I'm going to make this a pod page. I'm going to give it collision, terrain, triangle mesh. I'm going to name this podium base. Make sure we have all of our faces pointed outward. I'm just going to stretch it wide enough to cover that. I'm going to select our top face and bring it roughly about here. Yeah, that'll do the trick. And then, of course, we have our bottom way down here, which we don't need it to be all the way down there. So we're just going to pull it up, and we're going to level it out about. I'm going to level it down into the rock about here. So that way, if people walk at it from behind, their feet are just going to hit this and they won't have a chance of getting caught in the collision. Is it unnecessary? A little bit, yes, but, you know, that's what we're doing. Now, you'll notice I've not put any collision on the Nexus book stand or the Nexus book yet, and there are reasons for that I will get into when we actually actively set up a Nexus book. Actually, you know what? I'm going to set up a Nexus book right now. We're going to make this book station work, finally. Woo! Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Spur of the moment. Let's do this. I'm going to select our book object. You know, select our book object here. Nexus book. I'm going to put my cursor, you know, right about on the linking panel. Now, I'm going to go add. This is the add menu. In our 3D view menu, we're going to add Plasma linking book. And now we have a linking book model. That's right. This is a linking book template. And it is completely facing the wrong way. Which way is it supposed to be facing? We want Z to be where our avatar stands. You see this little bit of Z here? Yeah, we want that to be where our avatar is standing. So this template, this pre-made one-shot template, it will automatically, you know, it'll seek out our linking book. And we want, let's see here. Yeah, we want our seek point to not really be in anything that's solidly collisioned. So we want it to be above a collision point. We want our linking panel, seek point, this little square, to be roughly, you know, where it is. So our linking book is empty linking book draw. So if I go into our linking book template, we want our clickable object to be empty linking book draw. Cool. Now we want to set this to Nexus for the age instance and Nexus for the age name. And we literally can leave everything else intact. But I'm going to set the page again to pod rather than pod 12. Yeah. Okay, so just to show you what happens, I'm going to give this book collision. And, yeah, triangle mesh. This is an inherently bad idea. Do not make your clickables solid. You will see why in a moment. Export. Launch. Also, make sure you close your Uru install first. You're running Uru game first before you launch your Blender again. Don't forget to close it, otherwise you'll get your logged in elsewhere error. Now, here we are. We now have collision, and we have a book. And if we link through here, we can use this. Hey! Why is that? Making a liar out of me, are we, Blender, huh? Yeah, normally this does not... Normally what happens when I set up my seek points and I have a clickable with collision, like a book, usually I get stuck in place. Usually when I click a book and then I stand there, I get stuck in place and then, oh, it's the depenetration from the physics 4. Yeah, I'm a dummy. I'm running a completely different physics engine now than I was when I was running into this issue. But let's see if I can actually replicate that a bit. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, don't make your clickable objects have collision. Seriously, just don't do it. Don't do it at all. Seriously, it's just a bad idea. But you'll notice now that, yep, we have it. It's all, Yeah, this is all getting pretty smooth here. We're not getting caught on anything. Barely. We're getting caught on the windows a little bit, but we're not getting caught on the ground here. We're getting caught where we want to be caught. Yeah. And now if we use the book. Woohoo! Our first linking book! Congratulations! You've now created a linking book to the Nexus. Welcome to Vertigo, the first stage I've ever made. Literally. This is literally my learn how to do Blender age that I originally did. It is not perfect by any measure of the imagination, and I'm probably still going to have to do some tweaking to it, but this is pretty close to visual final as far as I want it to be. And it is... This age is like... It's out of a dream. It's a psychedelic kind of dream. Now, anyways, I was getting around saying collisions. Right, so, these book stands are basically, you know, when I was first doing this, I had everything collisioned. I had the books have collision, I had the book stands have collision, and it was a bad idea. Because I was getting caught in the collision of the book stand when I was using the book, you know. I was using the book stand collision, and I was unable to move. I can now move now, though, because the book stands have their collisions separate from them. There are just these walls that are kind of moving out sideways. But yeah, so this is, again, it's another in-progress age. It's more, this was just a wild experiment, essentially, of what can I make, what can I do, how do I do this and that. And yeah, as you can see, it is, I did not give much thought to the physical appearances of everything. I didn't give it much thought to the texturing. I just made the same texture in a bunch of different colors and I slapped it on everything. It's a big navigation age, and if you look, you'll notice I really need to fix the lighting, because I have 3 shadows, and that is not how many shadows I want this age to have. But yeah, so I've been talking to you about all this. I've recorded about 51 minutes of nonsense here, actual nonsense, of tutorialing. I've built a floor, I've built a ramp, I've built, I built a Nexus book. And I'm gonna make another ramp, because, just to finish this off. So we have this bottom floor, roughly done. So I'm gonna duplicate my ramp. Yep, there we go. Oh. Let's object edit mode. Let's scale this out a bit. Let's grab our side plane. Let's stretch it out. Make sure we get this level as we can. Grab this, stretch it out. Let's make it a bit more level. Yeah, there we go. This is our template. Object edit mode. Z. Let's twist it a bit. Okay, let's lift this up. Let's twist that a bit more. So let's get this, let's do this to wrap this episode up. Let's pull you forward, pull you back, let's pull that down. Okay, that should work. Let's go back to object edit mode. I'm gonna take this plane, I'm gonna bring it down to the ground. That should roughly do the trick, I think. Go back to object. Let's raise it up a bit more. Yeah, I'm going to do now is I'm going to extend that out a bit. Edit, go into this face, and I'm going to extrude my region. And now we have, you know, another piece of flooring. And let's select the pane, view, reset. Yep, that works. And then on this plane, I'm going to go... Actually, I'm going to go to both of these. Yep. I'm going to select both of these, make sure that we've got this roughly level. Project from view. Hey. I'm going to go into my UV image editor. Okay. And I'm going to try and make sure that this flat plane lines up. Nope. Make sure we have everything selected. I'm going to try and make sure that this flat plane lines up to this dark line. See, that edge lines up. That edge lines up. Yeah, okay. Now if I back out. Yeah, okay. Object, edit mode. I'm going to select this plane again. Bring it down. Select this plane. I'm going to bring it up. Now, I'm actually going to do... Yep. I'm going to actually shrink this down now. I'm going to shrink this in. Bring it back into alignment. Now I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna bring it down a bit, and then I'm gonna extrude the region out again and bring it down more. Actually, no. Let's undo that. Yep. Let's bring this in a bit more. And I'm going to raise the whole thing up a bit, just slightly, because it's clipping a little, and I don't quite like that. Let's bring it in, bring it up, bring it over. Yeah, bring it down a bit. Okay. Now, if I go Object, Edit Mode, if I select this face, bring it down. Okay, that should do the trick. This face. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to make it a bit more of a flat plane. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm going to go extrude my region again. And this one I'm going to bring down. So I'm going to bring it back up a bit here. Yep, there we go. Make sure everything is squared off as best as I can make it squared. Yeah. Extrude region again. And I'm going to bring it down to the ground. And square it out. I'm going to first do a reset. And then going into here. Well, I like that shaping to that X in the middle. That's not what I want. I want project from view. Project from view. Yeah, there we go. And make sure I've got all of my... Let's make sure I'm lining this up with the actual texture here. There we go. And then, to make sure I'm getting everything right, I'm going to grab this line, I'm going to drag it to the square, I'll grab this line, that one, drag it to the line. I'm just going to make sure my lines here are lining up. I'm gonna... Yeah, okay. I think that works. And now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make sure these have smooth shading. Make sure that this has smooth shading. Make sure this has smooth shading. Make sure everything has, you know, smooth shading. Smooth. Okay, now we have a lamp. We have a floor. Let's do one last export, and then we'll call it a video. Always save. Always, always save. It looks a little warpy. I may have to readjust things a bit for how I did that. But that's a future problem for future me. Oh, that worked. A little steep. Yeah, that's a little steep of a startup, but... Oh, that's just lovely. I like this, how this has turned out now. We've got our book stand. Awesome. Got our Nexus book stand being solid. Got all of this. It's looking good. It's looking fine. Yep, I need to make that slope a little less steep. But okay. Yeah. I'm going to call it for this week. Or this episode. There's the typos striking again. Shora B'Shemte. And thank you for watching.